few cities announce themselves as dramatically as Rio de Janeiro. Mountains rise almost directly from the ocean. Beaches curve around dense neighborhoods. Forested peaks, crowded streets, and world-famous landmarks all fit into one unmistakable skyline. Known simply as Rio, the city is the capital and largest city of the state of Rio de Janeiro, and one of the most important urban centers in Brazil. With about 6 million people in the city proper and roughly 13 million in its metropolitan area as of 2025, Rio is Brazil's second-largest city after São Paulo, and one of the most populous cities in the Americas. But Rio's influence is not measured only by population. It is a city where history, politics, culture, sport, tourism, and natural beauty have overlapped for centuries, creating a place that feels both symbolic and intensely real. Rio's identity begins with geography. The city sits along Brazil's southeastern coast, where the Atlantic Ocean meets a landscape of bays, beaches, granite mountains, and urban forest. This setting has shaped almost every part of its story. Guanabara Bay gave early settlers a strategic harbor. The mountains created breathtaking viewpoints but also limited easy expansion, pushing neighborhoods into narrow corridors between hills and water. Beaches such as Copacabana, Ipanema, Leblon, and Barra de Tijuca became more than recreational spaces. They became public stages where social life, tourism, music, fashion, and sport meet. Unlike cities built on flat plains, Rio is visually fragmented. Its districts are separated and framed by nature, making the city feel like a collection of worlds stitched together by roads, tunnels, and coastline. The city's modern history began in 1565, when Rio de Janeiro was founded as part of the Portuguese Empire. At first, it served as the seat of the Captaincy of Rio de Janeiro, one of the colonial administrative domains used by Portugal to control territory in Brazil. Its harbor made it valuable, and over time its importance grew. In 1763, Rio replaced Salvador as the capital of the state of Brazil, reflecting a shift in economic and political gravity toward the southeast. This was the era when colonial Brazil was becoming increasingly tied to mining, trade, and Atlantic power. Rio's position as a port and administrative center helped transform it from a regional settlement into the main political city of Portuguese America. Rio's most unusual political chapter came in 1808, when the Portuguese royal court moved across the Atlantic to Brazil. Fleeing the upheavals of Europe during the Napoleonic era, Queen Maria I of Portugal and the royal government made Rio de Janeiro their seat. This was extraordinary. In modern history, it is the only case where the capital of a colonizing country officially shifted to a city in one of its colonies. Under Prince Regent John of Braganza, Brazil was elevated to the status of a kingdom within the United Kingdom of Portugal, Brazil, and Algarves. Rio was no longer just a colonial capital. For a time, it became the center of a pluricontinental monarchy, governing an empire from the tropics. After Brazil's move toward independence began in 1822, Rio remained at the center of national power. It served as the capital of the Empire of Brazil until 1889, when the monarchy ended and Brazil became a republic. Even then, Rio continued as the capital of Republican Brazil for decades. Government ministries, diplomatic activity, political debate, and national ceremonies all revolved around the city. This long capital status shaped Rio's institutions, architecture, and self-image. It was not simply a port or resort, it was where Brazil presented itself to the world. That changed in 1960, when the national capital moved inland to Brasília, a planned city designed to symbolize modernization and national integration. Rio lost the capital title, but not its cultural power. Economically, Rio remains one of Brazil's major engines. It has the second-largest municipal GDP in the country, behind São Paulo, and was ranked among the largest city economies in the world in earlier global measures. Its economy is tied to energy, media, services, research, tourism, and major corporate headquarters. Petrobras, Brazil's giant oil company, has deep connections to the city, as does Vale, one of the country's largest mining corporations. Grupo Globo, Latin America's largest telemedia conglomerate, is also based in Rio, helping the city shape national entertainment and news. This mix of oil, mining, communications, and creative industries means Rio is not just a postcard destination. It is also a command center in Brazil's economy and public imagination. Rio is also a major center of knowledge. The city is home to universities, institutes, laboratories, and cultural organizations that contribute significantly to Brazil's research and development. According to mid-2000s data, Rio accounted for about 17% of national scientific output, making it the country's second-largest center of research and development. This matters because Rio is often understood through images of beaches, carnival, and landmarks, while its academic and scientific role receives less attention. The city has produced and hosted important work in medicine, engineering, energy studies, social sciences, and the arts. Its universities connect local realities with national questions, from urban inequality and public health to offshore energy and environmental preservation. No symbol of Rio is more globally recognizable than Christ the Redeemer. Standing atop Corcovado Mountain, the statue overlooks the city with arms outstretched, combining religious symbolism with an unforgettable geographic setting. It was named one of the new 7 wonders of the world, but its power comes from more than its title. From the monument, the entire logic of Rio becomes visible: the bay, the beaches, the mountains, the dense neighborhoods, and the green of Tijuca forest. Another famous landmark, Sugarloaf Mountain, rises near the mouth of Guanabara Bay and is reached by cable car. Together, Corcovado and Sugarloaf turn Rio's landscape into an open-air observatory, where nature and city are constantly seen together. Rio's beaches are not just scenic backgrounds, they are central to its urban culture. Copacabana became internationally famous as a symbol of glamour, tourism, and seaside life. Ipanema, immortalized through bossa nova, carries associations with music, style, and a particular Rio elegance. Leblon is often seen as more upscale and residential, while Barra de Tijuca represents a newer, more spread-out version of the city, with long beaches and modern development. On these beaches, the city performs itself daily. People play football and volleyball, run along the promenade, gather at kiosks, and watch the sunset. The beach is one of Rio's most democratic spaces, though the inequalities of the city are never far away. Culturally, Rio is inseparable from samba, carnival, and bossa nova. Carnival in Rio is both a massive public celebration and a highly organized artistic competition. The Sambadromo, a permanent parade avenue lined with grandstands, was built specifically for the samba school parades that define the city's carnival spectacle. These performances combine music, dance, costume design, storytelling, engineering, and neighborhood pride on a monumental scale. Samba itself emerged from Afro-Brazilian traditions and urban life, carrying histories of migration, resistance, and creativity. Bossa Nova, with its softer rhythms and global reach, gave another sound to Rio's image, especially through songs linked to Ipanema. Together, these forms turned Rio into one of the world's great musical cities. Sport has also made Rio a global stage. Maracana Stadium is one of the world's most famous football venues and has hosted some of the sport's biggest events, including the finals of the 1950 and 2014 FIFA World Cups, as well as the 2013 FIFA Confederations Cup. In 2007, Rio hosted the Pan American Games. In 2016, it became the first South American and Portuguese-speaking city to host the Summer Olympics and Paralympics. That achievement placed Rio in a rare group of global host cities, while also exposing the pressures that come with mega events, infrastructure demands, public spending debates, security concerns, and questions about long-term benefits. Even so, the Games confirmed Rio's unmatched ability to stage spectacle. Rio de Janeiro is often described through contrast, wealth and poverty, beauty and difficulty, celebration and tension, nature and urban density. The city is widely perceived as having a high crime rate, though the article notes that its incidence of crime is actually lower than most state capitals in Brazil. That contrast between perception and statistics is part of Rio's complicated reputation. It is a city admired from afar and debated from within. It has been a colonial outpost, a royal capital, an imperial capital, a republican capital, an economic hub, a cultural exporter, and an Olympic host. In 2024, it hosted the G20 summit, and it is set to host the FIFA Women's World Cup in 2027. Rio endures because it is not one thing. It is a city where Brazil's past, present, and global image meet in full view of the sea. If you found this helpful, please like this video and subscribe for more explainers.